What's up guys, it's your boy Brotato, back from a long and painful hiatus with a brand new video. Fortnite is a game that many people can't seem to get enough of these days. Streamers, casual gamers, hardcore gamers, you name it. It seems like the battle arena genre has just been born, and we have Fortnite and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds to thank for it. Well, at least thank for popularizing it. You see, with many different games and forms of media that have contributed to the formation of this game genre, none seem to come to mind as much as the Hunger Games. For those of you that have never seen the Hunger Games or played a Battle Royale game before, the concept in Fortnite is simple. Drop from the sky, collect weapons and other tactical supplies, hopefully before the other people around you, and either try to kill the people around you and take their stuff, or run away like a little bitch, I mean move on to the next area and gather more supplies. But in Fortnite, almost everything can be salvaged into the three main materials you can use to build a fort that definitely won't be useless 2 minutes after you try to build it because of how fast the health-destroying storm moves in. These materials include wood, brick, and scrap metal, and depending on which one you use will depend on how strong your fort is against enemy firepower. So if you want to have the competitive edge in combat later on, you're gonna want to break shit. From there, your goal is to become the last man standing in an arena that is constantly shrinking, and this is much easier said than done. For those of you watching who've played Fortnite before, thanks for sitting through that explanation. Now let's talk about how this concept presents a challenge for players that is very skewed towards the elite players that have days more than you clocked into the game. You see, Fortnite is more of a strategy game than a shooter. If you want to get good, you must understand when to and when not to engage an enemy or a location. If you pick up a regular assault rifle and the other guy has a purple or even blue pistol, you're already at a disadvantage. But if you see that same person fighting someone else, you could just as easily wait until the winner of that gunfight snatches the better loot and runs away before you come to pick up the scraps and stand a better chance later on. I find this method much easier to pull off when you have a bush equipped. Hashtag no shame, hashtag bush clan. The only problem with doing this is that the people getting the kills and putting themselves out there are getting the better and better equipment while you are only slightly improving your own inventory. So let's say you know all this, and you want to get that elusive kill in Fortnite and steal that delicious loot. You try so hard and get so far, but in the end you cry yourself to sleep at 3 AM because you're a failure and a disappointment to all your buddies. Well, when approaching a gunfight with appropriate weapons, the pros of the game know exactly what to do. In tight spaces, they take advantage of the type of weapon and game physics. If you come across somebody in a building, more than likely you will see them moving back and forth, jumping and/or crouching to avoid gunfire. All of this while maintaining their crosshairs directly on you. If you come across a pro outside, however, you'll be much more likely to see them building walls and peeking over them while shooting their longest range weapons. This is what makes Fortnite so interesting, because you really only are what you have. But there's a problem with developing a solid strategy, whether you're at the top of the leaderboards or so bad that it takes you 20 seconds to switch from your gun to crafting. What matters is your experience right from the drop. Now you can't necessarily blame the players of the game for condensing to the spots with the most starting loot, but it tips the scales in such a way that you will either be in a constant gunfight or not see anybody for the first 15 minutes of gameplay. If you decide to drop into a highly populated area, you also run the risk of being killed by someone who managed to snag that shotgun seconds before you, leaving you with nothing to defend yourself, inevitably causing your death. This essentially ends your run within the first minute of the game, leaving you as nothing but a cheerleader for the next 20 minutes if you decide not to rage quit. Sure, there are buildings and secret areas around the map with decent loot, but those areas are further and fewer between than the labeled hotspots on the map. In PUBG, there are vehicles that you can utilize to traverse the massive landscape. Unfortunately, in Fortnite, there's no way to traverse the more empty parts of the map than on foot. This limited way of traveling is only made worse when the storm closes in so quickly. Believe it or not, the problems only get worse when you're flying solo. In solo mode, the game is a 100-man free-for-all. So each problem I brought to light features 2 to 4 times more people to make this problem occur. In duo, the problem still exists, but because you have someone to revive you and watch your back, it's easier to beat the odds. However, playing squad mode seems like the most fair when it comes to all of Fortnite's semi-unbalanced gameplay. The only time that squad becomes ridiculously unfair is when your team dies early in the game and you're left to survive on your own in shootouts against partial or entire squads. The other problems, such as dropping in and immediately dying, can still occur, but the blow can be softened by sticking with your squad and improving your strategy on drop. Most of the things that I mentioned previously are fixable in this game. I even took the liberty of coming up with a few ways that Epic Games could update these problems away. I'm not saying these things need to happen, but they would definitely improve my experience and cause players less frustration in general.
Number 1.
I personally think the storm should move just a little less frequently or move slower. Not both, because that would take away the challenge. But unless some faster form of transportation were put into the game, that is the best solution.
Number 2.
Spread out the supplies more. There's supplies everywhere, but more so in big towns. Take a little bit out of the marked locations and spread them to more desolate areas. This would also give more player incentive to explore.
Number 3.
Lower the player count in solo mode, or at least create a new game mode with less people in it. I don't need my gameplay experience to be 1 versus 99 every time to have a good time. At least give me some sort of option to have less players in the map so I don't have to worry about being eliminated right away every single time. I don't mean to criticize this game so much, but I feel like just as any other title, Fortnite's time in the sun is limited. I feel like it's important for us to see the flaws in big games being released today to help improve the games of tomorrow. In conclusion, Fortnite is a good game despite its glaring problems, and its popularity will more than likely inspire game developers to expand their ideas even further to create a more immersive experience. Imagine a future with tighter controls, more map variation, FPS native perspective, and so much more gracing us with its presence in order to enhance the battle arena experience. Tomorrow is looking brighter than ever, and Epic Games should be the ones to pioneer that future. Because if they aren't, somebody else will. Oh yeah, and before I forget, here's a short clip of Prodigy totally embarrassing himself while I was in the middle of recording. Sorry, buddy. Hey guys, Brotato. Hey guys, Brotato here, and thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to join the Tater, like this video to show support for this kind of content, and leave me a comment with what you think is broken about Fortnite, or if I'm wrong and you think Fortnite is perfect. This video is going to be a part of an upcoming season of edited videos, which I plan on dropping in just a few months. But I wasn't sure if Fortnite would be relevant for that long, so I decided to post this one early. As always, thanks again guys for watching, and I'll post an update real soon for the channel. Peace.